Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Today guys, of course, here continuing the journey of the Batman. This is the Batman Season 5, Episode 2, the Batman Superman Story, Part 2. Oh my gosh, Part 1 was awesome. It was fantastic. I couldn't believe all the things they threw into that episode. I was amazed. First of all, Superman popping up in this universe is fantastic. Obviously, they kind of alluded to it, with the Justice League forming at the end of Season 4, but still, it was an amazing reveal. I wasn't expecting Lois, Jimmy Olsen, Metallo, Lex Luthor, and a bunch of Batman villains in the episode. But then again, I should have expected at least a couple of those characters tying into Superman, but I wasn't prepared for how much stuff they threw at us in that episode. It was insane how much stuff, because usually you would think with the two-parter, they're going to throw some cool stuff in the mix, but they make you wait for the second half. But usually they threw everything at us at once, pretty much in part one, and then of course ending with Superman being controlled by Lex Luthor because of the toxins or whatever from Poison Ivy, laced of course with kryptonite dust. Superman now has succumbed and is now obeying Lex Luthor, and that was the end of part one. I'm like, holy crap, so much just happened, because we just got done seeing a sequence with Batman and Superman and Robin, of course, like flying around like a jetpack or whatever, which Lucius made, and they're fighting a bunch of Batman villains. And then, of course, we end the episode. I'm like, "Argh, argh." But I loved it so much. It was such a great way to start Season 5 and have Superman in the mix. It was so cool how they did all that. I was so blown away by it. So, here we go. Let's get into now, guys. Season 5, Episode 2 of the Batman Superman Story Part 2. Let's jump into it now, guys. Let's go.
It's far too quiet.
Superman's not exactly Mr. Yappy.
Something's not right. We need a closer look.
Be careful. Be careful.
Lukewarm. Luthor hasn't been gone long.
Everything's so neat and clean. You still at it? You really are a creature of the night.
Yes, he
I found
is.
some residue in Luthor's test tube. If Ivy's involved, we might have to take precautions.
She was forced to. Well, I mean, no, it seemed like Lex betrayed her.
Luthor's weapons lab here in town. You with me, Robin?
Oh, okay.
Got your back.
Careful. I knew he was going to drop down. I just felt it. Oh.
All systems are go, Lex. We even have perfect weather.
How did they not notice when he's Batman? So that's fine. Ooh. Ivy. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Okay. Interesting. Oh shit. Yeah, they knew. What the hell? Oh, to keep him constantly under control, maybe?
Ivy's mind control spores, laced with kryptonite.
We had no central control, no plan of attack. Instead, we put our faith in aliens. Well, no more. Once aloft, they'll target the most strategic military installations in the world.
Of course they will.
At which point, they'll interface with the defense systems on the ground. I don't expect everyone to understand what I'm doing at first.
I mean, you're taking over the
But in
world.
end,
That's what you're trying to do.
We'll have a single worldwide army. No one will dominate the Earth again.
But you
Except
will.
for you.
Exactly, except for you.
In charge, destroy him.
Oh shit. Oh, he's trying to destroy that. Yep. It's a decoy. Decoy, exactly, decoy. It's weird seeing him without his cape.
Robin, can you hear me?
Be careful, be careful. Oh, yeah, exactly, I knew it. Wait, was that smart in the air like that? That rocket's coming in handy. Good job, good job. Ooh. He hit hard.
Awesome! Kick it in the water!
They're kicking it away from him. Oh. They're idiots. They didn't know. They didn't know.
Cool!
More
So that's
kryptonite.
where you got the kryptonite from. I thought you gave it to Superman.
He lied.
It's a fake.
I knew it.
Hang on to the real thing.
I'm not surprised that he lied, because you never know if this was gonna happen.
He's gonna blow!
Well, yeah, that, yeah. Careful, Robin. Holy crap. Oh, let's go. Let's go. What's his plan, exactly? He's like, what are you doing?
Got him, Batman!
No one knows why they're fighting, folks.
Oh, shit.
But it looks like a
It's being covered on the news now. That shot. Ooh. Ooh. I was like, is there gonna be like an explosion or did he hit the ground? But explosion. Damn. He's destroying that thing. My God. Ooh.
Is this where you were leading him? What are you gonna do? Stink him into submission?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's here. Wasting no time.
Put on your mask.
What's affecting him? What is it, though? He's back. He's back. That was smart, whatever that was.
What's going on? But I just doused you with atrazine, a basic component of plant killers. It wiped out the spores.
I owe you one.
Wasn't just me.
I guess teamwork does have its advantages.
Okay, so they got to do something. Come on.
I'll handle those. See if
Yeah.
you can stop them from the inside.
Exactly. Come on, work together. Want me to do it? Yep. That was effective.
Might want to cover your ears.
That should have probably hurt them more than just like, ah. Oh shit. Okay, Mercy. All right. Careful. Careful. Rockets. What are you going to do? Yeah, throw them. Yeah, throw them at each other. Let's say, do that. You know? I thought he was going to slam through it. That's what I thought he was going to do. Oh. Damn. Of course, it's a gigantic one. Why wouldn't there be?
What about me?
Shit, he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
That must be the daddy.
I mean, he's not wrong. What happened? What?
Warning. Virus detected.
Damn, a virus? That's interesting. Okay. That's cool. He slammed through the rockets. That was awesome. Hey.
You can't leave without saying goodbye.
Exactly.
Been a little busy, Dick.
The Lex has been tossed in jail with Ivy and the others. Who says
Nice.
there's no good news?
So, this is what all the excitement's about.
Mm-hmm.
Still a work in progress.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll do for now. I asked you here because I wanted to give you this.
You keep it.
I knew it.
At least then I'll
Yeah,
know it's with
trust.
someone who's on my side. Justice team of yours.
League. Justice League. Told the Martian it sounded like a ball club.
And there you have it, guys. That was part 2 of the Batman Superman story, and I think they did a pretty good job of wrapping it up. And they didn't focus on as many characters as they did in the first episode here in the second, because they did a lot of setup in regards to, here's Clark Kent, Superman, here's Lois, here's Jimmy, here's Metallo, here's all those Batman villains you've seen before, and they're here, here's Lex, and all that. And it's like, okay, this is a lot going on. So in this episode, it was more about, of course, saving Superman, but it was more about Lex Luthor, because that was kind of the end goal, because Lex had this big plan. Of course, Lex always has a plan. There's always a plan with him. So his idea was essentially in response to the joining that occurred, of course, at the end of season 4 of the Batman, where he realized that aliens, essentially because he was referring to Martian Manhunter, because of course he was helping Batman or whatever to stop the joining, saying aliens shouldn't be the one that are fighting against the alien attacks or invasions or whatever. It should be us humans. And the way he was wording it, which is like typical Lex fashion, nobody should be in control, or nobody should be, you know, whatever. There shouldn't be one individual running everything or whatever. Only humans. Like, and then Batman's like, except for you, right? Because you're the one creating all these robots who are going to be flying over. These are not just robots, kind of like in a sense of like Iron Man creating Ultron in the MCU, where he wanted to build a suit of armor around the world. The idea of these Ultron bots, of course, then Ultron comes from that or whatever, and then everything goes south from there. But like, it wasn't just Lex creating robots. It was Lex creating robots that when they fly over, they basically like link up and hack the government's systems, so they are in control of all their security, and then he's taking over shit. Basically, he wants to rule the fucking world. That was his goal. He wanted to be the one that was protecting the world, because essentially, if there's another alien invasion, it's going to affect him. So this was his response, doing all this. And also in this case too, Superman, who was of course infected with the kryptonite dust laced in the mix with poison ivy's like toxin, you know, plant based whatever, like basically mind control. Lex made the point to say, well, he didn't say he was fighting it, but I realized that, you know, I needed to give him more of a regular dose. So he had this machine hookup. The machine didn't last but 2 seconds because Batman threw a couple batarangs and exploded it, because no, you're not going to continuously feeding him this. I'm going to get rid of this. And I don't know why Lex didn't think of this, but then again, I don't think Lex was fully prepared for Batman. He made a point saying, yeah, you are smarter than I thought. And you know, Batman, it's like, but I don't think he realized that, yeah, Batman is easily going to go there. Because see, Batman has faced a villain very similar in a sense to this, in terms of using a machine that's connected to him with Bane. And he knew going after the cords attaching to Bane, essentially for giving him the venom, he knew to go for those cords immediately. Not immediately when he first fought Bane, but he realized that's the way to fight Bane. In the same sense, he knew immediately, even though it was such kindergarten level stuff, to destroy the device that Lex put on Superman. So the fight sequences that went down with Batman fighting Superman was really interesting. Of course, Robin in the mix, and thankfully they made it to where Lex said specifically, because it was only Batman that was there in the facility, and he fought Clayface for like 2 seconds, and he was trying to rescue Ivy or whatever, because she was working with Lex and he betrayed her and all that. But Lex made the point, because Robin was not in the building, because if Robin was in the room and they said to Superman, when Lex says to Superman, kill him, take him out, I think he says kill him or take it. I think he might have said to kill him. But regardless, when he says to go after Batman, if Robin was in the room, he would have went after both of them, which means they had no shot. With Robin, he was able to kind of get around, because Superman's not focused on Robin, sorry. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Apologies. I'm trying to get my energy up as much as I can. So Superman wasn't going after Robin. He was only focused on Batman. So that was able to make Robin to kind of help in the fight without him really being too much in danger, except for that one part where they actually go to that one building and they had some sort of like antitoxin against plants that they, you know, sent all out, and Superman actually hit Robin at one point, but he really wasn't too much in danger. Batman was. So before we get to that part, they had this giant fight sequence that happens, and turns out, of course, Batman kept the kryptonite. He never actually gave it to Superman. He laced it with lead, and he's like, well, I wouldn't recommend opening it. He knew Clark wasn't going to open it, but he handed him a fake, you know, package that has the actual, you know, kryptonite, and it wasn't kryptonite. Of course, he kept it. Then he gives it to Superman at the end. Batman gives it to Batman. Sorry, like I said, apologies. I'm tired. But you get my point. But we'll get to that last little bit in a second. But like, of course, he didn't get rid of the kryptonite. Okay, he had that piece on him just in case, and then he had the bigger piece in that secondary like bat cave system, which is kind of strange. They would have a secondary bat cave system, but then again, Lucius had all of the weapons and tech and stuff, and so Batman needed to go there because he needed to get, you know, a suit, which was like it was like a smaller version of that one suit that Batman used. I think he used it against Bane, didn't he? That one like robotic giant suit. I know he used it for Joker when Joker took Venom. Joker took Venom and he became the giant Joker earlier in the show, but like it was like a version of that kind of that Lucius made. So we had that whole sequence go down, and the fight was pretty intense. Superman's getting the crap out of Batman, but he's trying to lead him to that one location, and they finally get there, and then they cure him, essentially. And what they had kind of addressed in part 1 of the Batman Superman story, something that was really interesting that you guys pointed out in the comments, I thought was really interesting, and I noticed it as well, that in this version of events, Superman is the one who doesn't want to work with Justice League, who declined, when normally it's Batman. Normally Batman is the one key factor for a lot of iterations of Justice League forming, whether it's the comics or whatever different runs in the comics. It's always Batman kind of, and they did the same thing with the DCAU, which DC Animated Universe with Kevin Conroy's Batman. He was kind of iffy on, even after he joined Justice League, he was still kind of iffy on the whole thing, right? So in this instance, Superman is the one kind of, and Batman's the one like, well, look, if I didn't have Martian Manhunter help me in the joining, I would have been screwed. I wouldn't have been able to succeed. So after the Superman gets cured, he realizes, okay, you, Batman, and Robin, you both saved me working together. I understand now why you are working with a partner, why you're working with others, because I don't know if Batman would have been able to really survive. I think Superman could have killed Batman potentially in a couple of spots in this episode if it was for Robin's interference at times, shooting rockets, trying to slow him down, because that's what Batman said. You try to slow him down. I'm trying to lead him over to this area. And so Robin being there really did help. That was a good thing. And then, of course, we have Lex launching all the damn drones or, the robots. And Superman's taking them all out. And the music they're playing, I noticed it early on, but then I addressed it a little bit later into the sequence. But the music they were playing was very reminiscent of like Christopher Reeve Superman, the John Williams theme or whatever. It was really like kind of similar, that kind of hopeful Superman-esque type theme when he's taking all his robots. And I don't think they were shooting kryptonite. I'm pretty sure they weren't, but I thought they were at one point. But regardless, he was destroying those robots like nothing. In typical fashion. I should have seen this coming, but I should have seen it coming, but I wasn't expecting it. Lex exits the little area, and then Mercy's there, shooting her guns and, trying to keep Robin and Batman at bay. Lex gets into a gigantic robot, a ginormous robot, like a kaiju type one, like Pacific Rim, those type of giant robots. And it doesn't get far at all. Like, literally, Batman, what I thought was really smart too, because Superman took out all those different drones, those robots, by himself in different ways. It was really cool to see that. But in this instance, with the gigantic one, I'm expecting that just to happen again, except not exactly. Batman throws a particular batarang, and this is what I like about this show. In the comics, there are times where Batman has batarangs that are not traditional batarangs, okay? And even in the Arkham games as well, same thing. There was some variety to the batarangs. So in this instance, he had some sort of computer chip virus or something within the batarang that connected itself when it hit the robot, the gigantic one that Lex was in, and it uploaded a virus that caused it to start malfunctioning. The Superman beat the shit out of it. And at one point, he flew through its rocket-like shoulder thing that lifted out with all the rockets. He flew through it. And then everything fell apart. And then Superman, at the end, when Lex is arrested and all that, Batman's up at the watchtower. Nobody else is there, which is kind of odd, but I guess they're waiting until later for Superman and all of them to meet, I guess, the other heroes. But he shows up, Batman's there. I guess Robin's not a member. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I mean, I can see him being a League member, but at the same time, I get it. Should be the adults, I guess, because they're handling giant threats potentially as a group. Putting Robin in the mix, I mean, I get it. It'd be kind of cool, but at the same time, yeah, it'd be maybe an issue. So Superman shows up, and they're talking a little bit, and then he hands him the actual kryptonite. Now, we don't know this for sure. He just says it is, but he says, here's the kryptonite. I found the piece that was good. Because those two guys are idiots. Superman was still under the mind control, and he tossed the piece of kryptonite that Batman put into his costume while they're falling. It's like, that's a dumb move, because he's now weakened, and you're falling through the air. Then again, Batman could save himself with a grappling hook or whatever. Of course, ultimately, Robin saved him, but still, they're falling. And he takes kryptonite out, and those guys that kick it in the water, like, oh, it's kryptonite, let's get away, let's kick it. It's like, you're helping him, but they don't know. But he says he's handing back the kryptonite. Superman takes the box, flips it in the air, catches it, and hands it back, saying, I want it to be with somebody who I can trust. Okay, I like this. Now, they really haven't known each other too much, but Superman knows well enough to know that this guy could have easily killed me with kryptonite. He could have done many different things. He saved me from the mind control. He helped me stop Lex Luthor. He showed me that teamwork matters, and the Justice team, or this team, it's Justice League, is worth joining. And they were having a little conversation, and then the episode ended, which I thought was a nice way to end it. I'm excited for Superman to meet the other heroes. I'm excited to meet them because we just saw them at the end of season 4. I said part 4. Season 4, we saw Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Hawkman. We saw them, but they didn't speak, and so I'm assuming we'll meet them further on, and I'm curious to see how they're going to interact with Batman, how they're going to interact with Superman. I'm really excited. I really enjoyed this episode, and I like the fact that it was kind of pulled back in a sense of like characters. I think I mentioned that at the beginning of the review. If I did, apologies for repeating myself, but it was cool that they started out with so much. It was like, oh my god, so much is happening, but it was really cool. And then they kind of pulled it back to where it's more of a, not a self-contained story, but more of a, we're going to save Superman then stop Lex. Like, it's not so much like we have to introduce all these different characters. Like, we've already established Mercy a little bit. We established Lex Luthor. We have Superman in the mix. Okay. So I thought we were going to maybe see some more, but it's fine because at the end of the day, we already got so much in part 1. I shouldn't complain that part 2 didn't have as much, but there was a lot going on still in this episode. So it's good stuff. So Had a good time with this episode. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I'm loving the season so far, and it's unfortunate it's the last season, but at least we are getting these stories. It's really cool to see this Batman interacting with Superman, and then the fact there's a Justice League and all that. It's really, really awesome, and I can't wait to see more. So what do you guys think of the episode? I'm curious to know your thoughts, guys. Whatever thoughts you have, let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to know your thoughts. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.